Major moves, we going all in, like we got nothing to lose. We making moves, we making major moves, we making moves, we making major moves, we making moves.
Welcome back to my channel. I want to thank you guys for actively deciding to spend time with me. I'm just a guy in a Spider-Man mask, a cool one I might add. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just providing information and content already on the internet, and I just read it and present it to you guys in a way that may reach you or may not reach you. Whatever the reason is you found my page, I'm grateful you're here, and thank you for spending time with me. Let's get into this.
What is up, everybody? I am Mr. Man, and I come to bring the pain, the fire. I got a fire lit under my ass today, and I need to just get it out. And I know you guys are willing to listen here, and I need to get this shit out. This is a Bitcoin versus XRP thing here, and I'm not saying XRP is better. However, in terms of regulatory compliance, that is my field of expertise. That is what I do day in, day out. So, that being said, for all you guys new to my page who don't know what I do, I work in aviation, right? I work as a QA/QC, that's quality control, quality assurance. I'm the quality assurance, meaning I audit everything that comes through in terms of aircraft maintenance being accomplished and done in terms of the aircraft itself. I get the journey log, which has the pilot's flights on there, the times, the weight and balance, everything else on there, as well as the maintenance tech log on there. And the tech log would mean maintenance sticker or entry into the tech log, whether that be an airframe entry, to engine entries, to prop entries, or ADSBs, airworthiness directive service bulletins, which means each individual component is broken down and they have their own tracking and traceability. I track and trace all these things, and these things need to be tracked and traced in their own compliance. So, that being said, this is what I do day in, day out. I read what TC has to say. I read what CARS has to say. TC is Transport Canada. CARS is Canadian Aviation Regulation. Let's get into this shit right now, okay? So, Bitcoin, what goes up must come down. Bitcoin is the slowest technology. It's the OG for a reason. Updates happening because tech gets old also. Tech gets old also. Deal with it. It does. That's what happens. All right, it's not what I'm telling you is happening. It happens. It happens. It just happens. So that being said, ISO 2002 comes out. 22 comes out. And what happens? What does that create? Interoperability now. Bitcoin doesn't meet that already. Lightning Network is on the Stellar protocol there. Meaning the layer 2 for Lightning Network, which people are talking about, well, Bitcoin has Lightning. Bitcoin has Lightning. Yeah, that's not a layer 2 on the Bitcoin network. That's a layer 2 on the Stellar network. That's XLM for y'all who don't know. And the government is the biggest Bitcoin whale. Let me show you this shit right here. I'm not talking out of my asshole here. I'm talking the truth here. The U.S. government is one of the largest Bitcoin whales. What does that mean for crypto markets? The U.S. government holds billions of dollars in Bitcoin seized during criminal investigations. One trader explains why it's too soon to see whether the fact that fact makes the U.S. government a Bitcoin market threat. You know, we don't know. We don't know if it makes it a threat. However, we got Evergrande going down, and Evergrande's tied to Tether, and Tether's tied to Bitcoin. Bitcoin's tied to the government. Do you see these chains, these links already? Because I do in my head already. Let's keep going here. Just like I said about Tether, Tether buys Bitcoin with portion of its net profit to back USDT stablecoin. So stablecoin, USDT is backed by Bitcoin. Bitcoin is funded by the US government here. USD. Okay? Let's keep going. Let us keep motherfucking going. I hope this is the one I'm showing you guys here. The correct one. It might take a minute to go through it, but I just need to get this shit out.
That fall under this very broad definition, and we're going to use this term and often referring maybe we should be specific as to which part of the crypto assets we're actually referring to. But we can think of it in at one end of the spectrum you have.
So if you remember, many moons ago, I told you guys there's two groups. Only two groups. You have Group 1 and Group 2. Group 1 are backed crypto. Group 2 is unbacked crypto. Group 1 crypto has a stabilization mechanism. Group 2 have nothing. They have a hope and a prayer keeping them going. A hope and a prayer by you and me on Bitcoin, and that's it. That is it. Look at the sign behind this guy from the BIS, Bank of International Settlements. Hear it from his mouth. Hear it from the horse's mouth. Not from me.
Things like Bitcoin, which are unbacked, or algorithmic stable coins, which are not very well backed. At the other end of the spectrum, you have things like tokenized bonds issued in jurisdictions with legal regimes that ensure the holders of the tokens are entitled to the same cash flows as traditional bonds, so pure tokenization. And then in the middle, you have potentially a whole range of stable coins, which, depending on their characteristics, you could either think of them as being closer to the unbacked Bitcoins, or if they're properly backed, they could end up becoming categorized more closely to traditional financial assets. So the framework we came up with, that we published, tries to cover this whole spectrum of crypto assets. It does so by requiring banks to essentially...
Okay, let me quickly, I'll jump back to this. Let me show you this framework he's talking about. Here we go. Group 1 and Group 2 crypto assets. Let me get this mic in my motherfucking face here. Sorry, I'm lit up today. I'm lit up. I'm tired of these fucking Bitcoiners talking about Bitcoin's going to be the reserve. You don't know what sound money is. There's only a finite amount of Bitcoin. I don't give a fuck what you think about Bitcoin. Bitcoin's a fucking protocol. It's not hard money. It's not gold. It's not silver. It's not tangible. It's not real. When you talk about protocols being initiated here, and we're talking about XRP and XLM and XDC and Algorand and Quant, then talk to me about this shit. But I want to hear about Bitcoin. All right. Group 1 meets classification conditions: tokenized traditional assets, stablecoin, capital treatment generally based on existing Basel framework. Group 2 does not meet classification condition: tokenized traditional assets and stablecoins, unbacked cryptocurrency. Does shit, does nothing. Pardon my language. I'm trying to stop cussing right now, but it's so fucking hard with these people coming, man. A lot of people follow the charts and follow money, if you will, the M2 money supply, and don't understand regulations because they're too busy chasing the money. Right? You don't follow the money at all like that. That's not how you follow the money. You follow the money changes. The people who make the money, the people who create the money, the people who create the laws and regulations and acts behind the money. Follow that money, not what you consider and think is money. When's the last time bartering had actually taken place in our reality here? Realistically, when's the last time, aside from you and me going to a garage sale down the road there, or a yard sale down the road, and we see fucking Joe Smith down there, and we're like, yo, I'll give you this, whatever it is, this washer and dryer for that, that trailer to go on the back of my car there. Aside from that, not working in the store. You're not going into the store and saying, hey man, I'm gonna buy, how you gonna pay for these things here, sir? Oh, I got my Bitcoin. Not happening. Not fucking happening. Not happening. Walk into Walmart and let me see if that works. Walk into fucking Canadian Tire. Walk into Walgreens. Go into the bank and tell them you want to put your Bitcoin in the fucking bank. Let me know how that works out for you. Anyways, adapted market risk rules with netting and 100% capital risk, meaning it does not meet hedge recognition criteria. Bitcoin is a Group 2 1,250% rate risk, right? That's too much of an exposure for banks. Let me get off my soap. Let me get back to this shit. Let me get back to this here for you guys here.
Divide their crypto asset exposures into two broad groups. What we refer to as Group 1 and Group 2, using a set of classification conditions. So basically, when we develop the framework, we have this idea: are there things currently in place where we could just apply the Basel framework, and if so, under what conditions? and we came up with these conditions, and if crypto assets meet these conditions, then essentially the Basel framework applies. If they don't meet these conditions, then we came up with this alternative treatment, which is quite conservative, and that's how we ended up with this Group 1, Group 2 classifications. The Group 1 crypto assets include tokenized traditional assets and stable coins that are assessed to have adequate stabilization mechanisms.
Adequate stabilization mechanisms. All right. So that brings me to, you know what? I get called fucking delusional on the daily from people on Twitter. Why? Because I see things differently, because I understand things they do not. So let me dive into the CPMI and fucking IOSCO here, okay? Let me dive into this shit here. So, this is the CPMI, Committee on Payments and Market Infrastructure, Board of International Organization and Securities, commissioned by the fucking BIS and IOSCO here, okay? This isn't my shit here. So this here, talking about notable SA features. Number 9. Let's go to number 9. Let's fucking do this shit. Let's do this shit. Pardon my language. I'm so fucking lit up, man. People just don't understand this shit, and you're coming at me with like Bitcoin this and Bitcoin's gonna be the savior and Bitcoin rah rah rah. Get the fuck out of here with that Bitcoin shit. Is this it? The payment landscape is rapidly evolving. Broad-based growth in financial innovation has lower barriers for new actors to offer payment services. Among the new players are the operators of stablecoin arrangements, SA as it's known as. An SA is an arrangement that combines a range of functions to provide an instrument that provides to be used as a means of payment and or store of value. People connect that term store of value with Bitcoin. What store of value is it storing? What value is Bitcoin storing? Is my question to you. If you don't have an answer, shut the fuck up. Pardon my language here. However, a particular SA may be used for different purposes and could evolve over time. With the emergence of stablecoins, the International Regulatory Committee has sought to further understand these new entrants and the potential risk that may pose to the financial system. The G7 Working Group on Stablecoins and the Financial Stability Board, the FSB, conducted work on the impact of global SAs and each published recommendations for the regulatory supervision and oversight. As part of that work, the G7, the G20, and FSB recognize the potential role of SAs in improving global cross-border payments and called upon the standard settings bodies, which we've gone over many times, the SSBs, right, and who they are, as needed to make any revisions to the standards and principles, provide further guidance, supplementing existing standards and principles, light of the FSB report. Okay. Stable coins. Not that. Stable coins. What the fuck is this mouse? There we go. I gotta stop swearing. You know what? I had some drinks in me and I'm all fired up. Payments Canada. Payments Canada. Here we go. Stablecoin for cross-border payments. Not my words. From the regulators, from the people who have been told or instructed or provided guidance to say, you regulate stable coins. These are the people provided with the instructions, if you will, to regulate stable coins. What do they say? What do they say? Stable coins refer to a class of digital currencies which are relatively stable in terms of the price. Stable coins offer instantaneous processing and security of payments as many cryptocurrencies do. They also offer stability with respect to their parity against fiat currencies. Two digital currencies that fall into this category are RippleNet's native digital currency XRP and the Stellar Network's cryptocurrencies XLM. Perfect. Keep going on. And here we are again. I'm sure you guys have seen this document many times with the orange here. You know it. Right, this is the World Bank here, XRP. I want right to the bottom here. Stablecoins for cross-border payments. Again, not my words. I'm just showing you what they have here. Stablecoin refers to a class of digital currencies that are relatively stable in terms of their price. Stablecoins offer instantaneous processing and security of payments as many cryptocurrencies do. Does the language sound familiar? Does it sound like it was copied and pasted? It does to me. Let's keep going. They do also offer stability with respect to their parity against fiat currencies. Two digital currencies that fall into this category, RippleNet's same exact entry. The exact same entry from the World Bank and from Payments Canada, right? Not my words. I'm just showing you what I found, all right? Let's keep going. What is this one here? I need to see the top here so I know what I'm talking about here. Is this the CPMI and IOSCO? Here we go. Now, the CPMI and IOSCO have been charged with looking after and governing the stablecoin arrangements. There it is there. Especially the GSC, the Global Stablecoin Arrangements. So, CPMI and IOSCO issue final guidance on stablecoin arrangements, confirming that principle for financial market infrastructures apply to systemically important stablecoin arrangements that transfer stablecoins. Did you see that? That transfer stablecoins. Not is a stablecoin. Not is the typical arrangement of the stablecoin or the tokenized deposit. That transfer stablecoins. All right, how XRP enables fast, low-cost cross-border exchange transfers. Notice the language here we're talking about. All right, folks, this isn't my language. This is their language. I'm just showing you the connections here. Stay with me. We got more. CPMI and IOSCO will continue to examine regulatory, supervisory, and oversight issues associated with stablecoin arrangements and coordinate with other SSBs, or standard settings bodies as they're known as. The Bank of International Settlements now has a task force for cross-border payment, and who is on that? None other than Ripple for cross-border payment transfers, as we see. And transferring companies are known as stablecoins as well. Not my words, I'm just showing you the connections here. And the reason they're able to transfer this value here because they have a stable value to them. And when I say stable value, you're moving now wholesale value. For instance, with XRP, we're not talking XLM, XDC, Algo, Quant. I'm talking specifically about XRP, and you can interchangeably use that for other cryptocurrencies as well. So people ask now with XRP, I'm not going to give you a price prediction. I'm not going to give you a date. I'm not into any of that bullshit. But what I will tell you is when people say, well, it's a stable coin, and they know stable coins to be, well, it's 1-to-1 backed by the US currency, so it's going to be $1. No. Wake the fuck up, people here. Wake the fuck up. Why? Because for wholesale value, let me go back. Picture retail value, and you're using a stable coin to go to your store and buy a bag of chips. There's your dollar. Now, transfer that and move it from this side of the tennis court onto this side here, wholesale value. And wholesale value wants to buy their bag of chips, and their bag of chips costs what? $8 million. $8 You're not going to have $1 XRP to go and transfer that. You need 8 million XRPs to move that. So if you have an XRP worth hypothetically $10,000, you only need, what is it? 800,000 XRPs or whatever the value. I can't do the math without my spreadsheets in front of me here, but you only need a certain amount of XRPs now. And people will say, well, you can use XRP 20,000 times during the day, yada, 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 yada. It still has to be a high, stable value for that cross-border payment, which takes place several times throughout the day. All right, you feel what I'm saying here? Do you feel what I'm saying here? I'm talking out of passion here, not talking out of my ass. I know you feel what the fuck I'm saying. I know you never seen Mr. Man fired up like this before. I know you ain't never seen that shit. So here we go. World Bank discusses Ripple, RippleNet, XRP, and the G20 all in the same excerpt regarding cross-border payments. And I put this out long before Crypto Lulu had put this stuff out here. So, I posted this on my page long ago. Two largest global remittance providers have been active in developing partnerships to speed up cross-border payments to transaction processing. In October 2020, Western Union announced real-time payouts capabilities in 80 countries, while MoneyGram has partnered with institutions such as Visa to enable fast payments between certain corridors. Who do we know is with MoneyGram and who do we know is with Visa? Do I gotta say this shit? Like, more recent entrants in the international remittance space, such as Wise, formerly TransferWise, have also seen success in many years by providing international transfers at low cost. Ripple has developed a network based on distributed ledger technology for cross-border payments. The RippleNet network allows financial institutions to send and receive international payments for what? Cross-border payments in a single pre-funded account, which removes and eliminates nostro-vostros. You're not holding that money in pre-funded accounts. So directly after this whole RippleNet here, we're talking about transactions as well as the use of XRP digital currency to bridge different jurisdictions. The G20 has published a roadmap to enhance. How do you have XRP, RippleNet, and the G20 in the same fucking breath? Come on, people. Like, be realistic. Be real to yourself. If you're out there still saying, you know, Bitcoin's going to be the reserve currency, Bitcoin is going to do this, Bitcoin's hard money, Bitcoin is nothing but a fucking program. It's a protocol. That's all it is. And like Jamie Dimon says, at the end of that, when the 27 million Bitcoin are reached, what happens? You don't know if something at the end goes, boo, you've reached the 27 million and the program collapses within itself. You don't know. You have no idea. Because all we know right now is, don't know who Satoshi Nakamoto is. We know that Bitcoin and XRP have the same IP address. We have heard that Bitcoin was created by 4 individuals, 4 Satoshis. We have heard that Bitcoin is connected to the NSA, so is XRP. The XRPL, with David Schwartz. Do you see connections there? However, one is being tied to the global banking infrastructure and one is being pushed out from the banking infrastructure. That's all I gotta say. Right? Not my words.
As I said, these will just be subject to the general requirements based on the existing Basel framework. So again, if you have a bank holding a tokenized corporate bond and it meets all the conditions to be included in a Group 1 asset, then the capital treatment is the same as just holding a non-tokenized corporate bond. Any crypto asset that fails any of these conditions that we've put in place falls into Group 2. And this would include any stable coin that's assessed not to be stable, and anything that's unbacked, such as Bitcoin and any algorithmic stablecoin. And under the...
Why do you think Terra failed? Why do you think USDT is going to fail? It's not transparent. It doesn't have audits. It doesn't have internal audits. It doesn't have external audits. It's not transparent with its reserves. USD will fail. USDT will fail. It is connected to Evergrande, which is over 300 billion in debt right now. And they've now filed for Chapter 15 bankruptcy. I'm talking about Evergrande here. And Tether is tied to this shit. So when you see Tether fucking implode, you better believe Bitcoin's going to fall down just as hard. And at that point, you're going to see the government sell at the top. You're going to see them sell at the top. Why? Because people know cryptocurrency is synonymous, which means the same two things as Bitcoin. If you go talk to Joe Schmo down the road there and you say, hey, do you know about Bitcoin? Or do you know about crypto? Yeah, their response is going to be, yeah, I know about Bitcoin. Do you know about XRP? What the fuck is XRP? It's a crypto. Crypto, the only big crypto I know is Bitcoin and Ethereum. Because that's all that you see on CNBC, MSN, CNN, whatever other news sources there are. That's all you see and that's all they're going to know. That's the fucking psyop for you. That's the fucking psyop for you.
Finalized standard that we issued last year, the Group 2 crypto assets are subject to a very conservative treatment. In effect, they have to be fully covered. Any bank exposure has to be fully covered with capital. When the committee finalised the standard in December of last year, it also published a list of topics that it would continue to review during the course of this year and next. So there may or may not be additional refinements to the standard. Let me just mention two elements that we're working on. First, I mentioned earlier that stablecoins that are assessed to have a reliable stabilization mechanism can be in Group 1. As part of this test, there are some elements that must be used in this assessment. For example, a redemption risk test must be met, and this test aims to ensure that the assets backing the stablecoin are sufficient to ensure that they can be redeemed at all times. So one area of work that's ongoing is we're looking at whether we can flesh out in more detail
the way I see it, I don't care about Bitcoin's finite amount that people tend to talk about. This is what makes Bitcoin so worthwhile. It has a finite amount. There's only 27 million worth of Bitcoin. Blah, blah, blah. Ray. Who cares? Who cares? It doesn't meet the requirements of this. No one's going to go into any store and ask to pay in Bitcoin. Right now you can, because the term is the wild, wild west. You can do whatever you want. You can pay in what you want. You can get away with this shit. You can run in. Yeehaw! Rock in with your sack. Go in, load up on stuff, and run out and disappear. Of course you can do that stuff. Bitcoin is unbacked. And you're not going to see Bitcoin. Like Bitcoin, the way I see it, it's here's the financial system here. Here's Bitcoin here. Bitcoin is opposing this. Bitcoin is like, it's the freedom, it's this, it's us, hurrah! We're gonna be free out of the system! Get the fuck out of here with that shit. You're not gonna be free out of the system. Do you think these people would allow that to happen? Do you think the you and me of the world, aside from this Spider-Man mask, are gonna go out there and be like, yeah, I wanna buy these popcorn in Bitcoin. Okay, sir, that's gonna cost you 0.0000521 Satoshis. No one understands that shit. I've been in crypto for 3 years now. I don't understand that shit. What the fuck is Bitcoin, it fluctuates so wild. It's wild. 0.00035 could be, $800 today and could be $900 tomorrow. It could be $1,000 the next day and 50 cents the next. Who the hell knows what that is? You're not using that to pay for anything. That, to me, is a speculative asset. You know what? There's so much more I want to say, but I'm going to let you guys go. I'm gonna spend some more time cutting my grass. I gotta do that still. I gotta finish re-cementing my steps. I got some projects to look after here. So I thank you guys here for spending time with me. I appreciate you guys here for allowing me to yell on yell on the track like I'm a fucking rapper. The only thing I didn't do was spell my name M-R-M-A-N-M but like every other rapper out there, like Meek Mills, Joel Santana. Anyways, I appreciate you guys. Love y'all like family. See y'all on the next one.
Major moves. We going all in. Like we got nothing to lose. We making moves. We making major moves. We making moves.